The following is a Tony Lasano podcast, an Opie show on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. This is Free Kicks. Okay, need to get this out of the way right at the beginning.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right, here it is.
Correa, Esteban! Blue Paradise! Maresca romping up the touchline! To engage in a brilliant bridge moment! 95 minutes!
Brilliant bridge moment. I can't take any more of that.
Oh, that's great. Can we do that again? I didn't quite hear all of it.
I won't do that again, but I will do this because it's time to start the show.
And now, Free Kicks. Free Kicks with Illinois Youth Soccer Association's Director of Coaching, Adam Howarth, and Rick Kemper.
So we have a full report coming later in the show about Adam's recent trip to Scotland. That'll be coming up in a bit, but yeah, we just played the audio. Chelsea won, blah, blah, blah. All right, I will give you 30 seconds to gloat, and then we will move on.
Well, I think the original plan was 30 minutes of this game, but I guess it's now 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's fine. But yeah, what a fantastic result for Chelsea. You know, they've been mired with injuries. The whole team's out, best players out, and they will have a half-fit team, and they beat the defending champions. Well, what more can you say? Well deserved. But if I'm Liverpool, I'd be concerned because it's a couple of close ones that they've now lost.
Yeah.
So maybe that defensive liability that we talked about previously, maybe it's starting to come to full fruition.
Yeah, it sounds
we'll
like
see.
it.
Yeah, but great result. Great result for Chelsea.
And the coach got a red card, is that right?
Yeah, it was a weird one. They did the post-match interview was had to be done by the assistant coach, which is never a good thing. But yeah, I think for Chelsea, you know, I think he needed that, and he was just, you could see how, you know, him running down the sidelines. There was talk about how that emulated Mourinho when he did it as well, but we're not quite there yet. But I'm super glad that Chelsea was to get a result like that, and hopefully that will hold them in good stead moving forward. And I tell you, Caicedo is arguably the best midfielder in the league right now.
Yeah,
definitely.
He's very good. And if you remember right, there was a battle between Liverpool and Chelsea to get him.
That's right, exactly.
But it's a beautiful goal that he scored. That first goal was a beautiful goal. All right, so Chelsea is now, in 7th place? Heading into the international
got
game?
into 7th, 11 points, so just behind Chris. Yeah, surging. Yeah, 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. They're okay, you know. So goal differential's not great, but
they got their signature win. This was a signature win, and so you got to be happy for the manager.
Yeah, exactly. They'd had 2 losses in a row going into this, from the league. So they needed a big recovery, and that will hopefully push them forward.
So as Chelsea surges up, Arsenal joins them. They're now at the top of the table. They got a big win, which pushes Liverpool to 2nd place, Tottenham at 3rd. Bournemouth is at 4th, heading into the weekend's international break. And still, you know, down near the bottom is Manchester United. And I wanted to talk to you about that briefly. We didn't talk about this before the show, but I was reading the New York Times this morning, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe was interviewed. Did you see this?
I did not see the article, but I heard it on the radio concerning his comments.
He basically says he's got 3 years. The coach has, the manager has 3 years to get it together. That's quite a leash in Premier League terms, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit surprising. I think it gives a lot more information for the newspapers to maybe speculate on some different things. He did reference Arteta talking about, it took him a while to get going. Even had this discussion in Scotland when we were there, obviously the home of Sir Alex Ferguson, and how he was struggling, right? I mean, he was almost out of a job before they won the FA Cup. This was back in the 90s, and then obviously the rest is history. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is the challenges that he goes through now for long-term improvement. It's refreshing that an owner is committing himself to the coach, but let's be honest, he's got to get it done.
Well, and this is his guy, right? And he came in and he picked this guy. So
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I give him credit, I suppose. But based on what I'm seeing, okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I know that the fan base probably was not thrilled to read that. Yeah,
exactly. Now, give them credit. They won on the weekend. They beat a definitely in-form Sunderland team. So it was a good result for them. Their big signing scored a goal as well as a former Chelsea player in Mason Mount. So some of these players are coming to, start to play a little bit better and improving their performances. The goalkeeper as well. And I think, maybe things could change for them. I mean, it can't get any worse. That's for sure.
I agree. All right, let's talk about the international break because that's coming up this weekend. And something we haven't talked about in a while is the United States national team under Pochettino. He's been ruffling feathers. He's keeping players wondering what their status is. And it seems like he's doing this on purpose to motivate, light a fire on them. They said that the previous regime was a little too cuddly, which I when I read that in the paper, I'm like, really? I never thought of it quite that way. But that was his assessment when he came in. It was a little too everyone felt like they were safe, and he didn't want them feeling that way. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about that approach? The likeliness of the success of it. I mean, does it seem to be working? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think right now, that when you look at the team itself, there's a lot of experience. There's a lot of players who are playing in high-level leagues. We've got a lot of Americans obviously playing in the Premier League and Serie A, La Liga. The biggest thing is they haven't gotten the results to go along with their experience. So they haven't proven it yet.
Right.
And unfortunately for Pochettino, he hasn't shown to prove that they can win these big games that they needed. So he's got the players. I think we all would like to see more development. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter until we get to the World Cup. And he said that numerous times. We've got to be in good form when we get to the World Cup. And that's my goal. And I can see to a point, maybe there is a little bit of tough love there from the coaching staff. Maybe they felt like it was too friendly. But you could argue, I'll give England as an example, Gareth Southgate changed that culture and made it more friendly, and obviously they had some success as well. Maybe Thomas Tuchel will do the opposite. I don't know, but arguably they've got to get the results.
He will.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's the Argentinian in Pochettino, the German in Tuchel, but it doesn't matter until we get down to it. They're in the World Cup. They've got to have a good performance. They've got to show well. We're hosting it. That's what we want. So let's work on getting this form better than it needs to be, because there's enough good players there. There's still question marks. I'm still not sure who our best goalkeeper is.
Yeah.
I think outside backs, I think we're as good as anybody in the world with Anthony Robinson there, and Serginho Dest is a solid outside back. Centre backs, I think a decent Chris Richards has played a lot. Tim Ream has got a lot of experience. I was able to see Cameron Carter-Vickers on the weekend. He was playing for Celtic, so there's players that are playing in good leagues and getting experience. And then, forwards wise, maybe some question marks there in terms of who's going to score the goals. But you've still got obviously Pulisic and potentially a player like Brendan Aronson, who could potentially score some goals, Josh Sargent, whatever it may be. So there's definitely players there, and plus my favorite player, Tyler Adams, although he's not in this camp. I think his wife's expecting a baby, so he's not in the camp this week.
And he's probably going to be the captain of the team, don't you think?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. It might be Pulisic. It might be Tyler Adams. That's a good question. Maybe even Tim Ream. I think Tim Ream's been also leading the team a few times.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, the experience is there. The players are there. It's just making sure that they get them all together. And I don't think he's probably had all the players together at the same time because of injuries and different things. So let's hope that all works out.
And, you know, the pressure is always on the home team.
For sure.
And it's also, there's the huge advantage of playing in front of your home crowd, but there's also the disadvantage of not being part of the qualifiers where you're getting, some good experience. A friendly game is just not the same.
Yeah. Playing those games that mean so much, and we've seen it before previously. Games when you've got to go to Trinidad and Tobago or to Costa Rica. These are really tough places. The Dominican Republic. These are tough places to play at. It just adds more grit and fight to the team. And when you come back from those games, they feel like they've done something really to achieve a united goal that they've set for themselves.
Yeah.
So they don't obviously have that, but if they're able to play some good quality teams, and I think we've got a couple of games coming up this week.
Oh, don't say yet.
Yeah,
I know.
That will help.
I know you're saving it for another.
Yeah, but there's games this week. But when we talk about our TV tips, it's going to be more Premier League. But ultimately, these games here can definitely help with Ecuador and Australia. So 2 good games this week, which would definitely be good to gauge where they're at.
Okay, so that we'll be keeping an eye on that because, of course, the World Cup is coming next summer right here to the United States. But let's talk about the Champions League because we have not talked about them yet this season. There's a few games under our belt, some memorable Champions League games the past few weeks. Let's talk about a few of them. The 6 English teams in the competition this year, which has got to be a record, right?
Yeah.
And among the English teams this past week, Newcastle won 4-0. Arsenal beat Olympiacos 2-0. Chelsea beat Benfica. That was a big game, right?
Yeah.
Man City only managed to draw against Monaco. Tottenham also only managed a 2-2 draw. And Liverpool lost to Galatasaray.
Surprise. Yeah.
That was a surprise. So what are your thoughts about some of those that we've seen now?
Yeah, I think they're all kind of vying for position. It's where everything is, and I think you noted that right now all the teams are qualifying. They're in that qualifying area. All the Premier League teams. It's interesting to see how it all shakes out. With this large table.
36 teams.
I know, exactly. And right now you've got a team like Ajax at the bottom who's struggling. No goals scored, 6 goals against. So along with a team from Kazakhstan. So that's kind of where they're at. But ultimately, when everything shakes out here, the way it sets up, there's typically a bunch of tough games, a bunch of maybe slightly easier games for some of those English Premier League teams. So when it all shakes out, I would definitely foresee a good vast majority of them, at least I would say 3 to 4 in that top 8. And then after that, we'll see where everybody falls.
Well, right now we have 2 in the top 8, and that's Arsenal, which is in 5th. Man City is in 8th. Got Tottenham in 9th, Newcastle 11th, Liverpool 17th, Chelsea 18th. So all of them would go through the knockout round if it stays this way. And, of course, at the top of the table, it's like they might as well just write the names in there. You got Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and PSG.
Yeah, 2 wins to start off with. And again, early days, but it's important to note where everybody's kind of fighting for their supremacy there. Although Karabag is also there with 2 wins, which is interesting. Don't know too much about them.
Yeah,
but you got Dortmund as well. Got a win and a tie. Man City. Yeah, early days, but it's good to check in to see where everything is when everything kind of works out. It's always nice to see some of those games. The Chelsea-Benfica game was obviously a big one. They also played Bayern Munich at the start. So you do get some really nice big games right at the start.
You want to talk about Jose?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, it was great to see him come back to Chelsea. Played his first game in charge of Benfica. What was nice was the interview that he did beforehand, and he talked a little bit about his relationship with the Chelsea fans and obviously the staff. And what was really nice was, as he's leaving, one of the people who've been working there for a long time, he just gives the biggest hug to, and she was hugging him back. So that's what it's all about. It's not necessarily about Jose and he's outspoken, but you can see everybody still loves him because he was created such fantastic relationships with the people that work there. And I think that's why, certainly for me as a Chelsea fan, and I'm sure other Chelsea fans out there have a soft spot for him. And maybe you could argue maybe some of the other teams that he's managed. I mean, he's managed a lot. Manchester United, Tottenham, maybe a few others. Maybe they still have soft spots for him. You could argue, Man United fans, that he was as successful as probably the most successful manager they've had since Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah,
so, interesting.
That's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, so my stat of the week is we're talking about the Champions League, and Erling Haaland recently scored his 50th Champions League goal. And I was wondering how many others have scored 50. It turns out there have been exactly 10 altogether. So I want to see if you can guess who the rest are. The obvious ones, Ronaldo, Messi. I'll give you those 2. So you see if we can guess the others.
Cool. So reiterate, 50 goals.
50 goals in Champions League.
50 goals. So I would say Erling Haaland.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be one. Thierry Henry.
Yes.
Okay. Harry Kane.
No. Harry Kane did not. I'll tell you some of the countries they're from.
Okay.
One of them's from Poland.
Oh, Lewandowski.
Very good. 2 more of them are from France.
Okay, so you got Mbappe, probably.
Yep. Yes.
I'm going to go with a weird one. Maybe Olivier Giroud?
Nope.
No. Okay. Who else would be from France who scored 50 goals?
He's from France, but he was really famous for playing in Spain.
Oh, okay. From France, plays in Spain.
He no longer plays there. Real Madrid.
Wow.
Benzema.
Still jet lagged.
Benzema.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Benzema. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then there's one from Germany.
Okay, so German has to be Müller, right?
That's right, Thomas Müller. And then one from Holland.
Holland, goal scorer. Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Very good. You did it.
Oh, there you go. So not bad. I just needed clues. That's all I needed.
That's right.
A little country clue, and I'm there. That's not bad.
That's right. All right. It's time to mention that Free Kicks is brought to you by the Illinois Youth Soccer Association.
Illinois Youth Soccer has been proudly serving the Illinois soccer community since 1975 and is one of Illinois' largest youth sports organizations with approximately 95,000 players, coaches, and referees. Illinois Youth Soccer is the official state association and charter member of U.S. Soccer Federation, administers U.S. Soccer Federation coaching programs, the Olympic Development Program, and U.S. Soccer Federation referee programs. For more information, go to illinoisyouthsoccer.org.
Okay, you mentioned that you're jet lagged. That's because you just got back from Holland. So it's time for your Holland report.
Holland? We didn't
Yes.
go to Holland.
I mean, what in the world? Scotland.
Okay. I was like,
I'm looking
I
at
don't know
Ruud.
Holland.
I'm looking at Ruud van Nistelrooy's name here, and I just went with Holland. Okay. How
No
about
worries.
this?
Play
hang
some music.
And now, a free kicks report from across the pond.
That works.
There you go. That works great. I like the across the pond there. I think we've used that before,
We
so that's
have.
good. Excellent. Well, yeah, what a tremendous trip. Absolutely privileged in my position to be able to go on some great trips like this, courtesy of our friends at World Strides, who we've been working with. So, bunch of U.S. Youth Soccer ODP partners were able to go. So we had a great representations of technical directors, ODP directors, CEOs, and executive directors. And what a fantastic trip. It was great. So very quickly, we visited Dundee United, Hearts, Rangers, the Scotland Football Association. So those were our kind of the four where we was able to really engross ourselves with information, find out a little bit about the academies that they are working with. This was really a treat at Hearts. We was able to watch their first team train in preparation for the big Edinburgh Derby that we went to, which we'll talk about here in a second. Got to then get an insight into Dundee United, like I mentioned, in terms of their CEO and their academy manager, who had recently been coaching in America. So that was really impressive. Rangers and the CEO of the women's area, who basically talks a little bit about the setup with their women's programs, the team's development. Got a nice tour of the academy alongside the first team training facilities, and then got to go to Hampden Park, so the Football Association of Scotland, and met with one of their educators, talked a little bit about licensing and the things that they're working with as well. So that was great. I mean, from an education standpoint, lots of takeaways, lots of notes, lots of really good information. And then we was lucky enough to go to some games. So the big one was the Hearts Hibs game. That was the Edinburgh Derby. So we got an insight as to how they was going to potentially play. And then we went to the game. Game was pretty average, to be fair. But we were lucky enough to be part of a group. It was kind of a hospitality group, so we was able to be part of a bunch of 200 people. So we was able to have a nice little meal before the game, and then go out onto the field right behind the goal. And of course, they scored in the 91st minute to win it. So Hearts. So I'm definitely a jammy, as I'm called now, because I'm now a full member of the Hearts Tynecastle group, so that was good. And then we was able to watch Rangers.
Well, wait,
women play.
before you go to that, I mean, I have the audio from that game.
Yes, of course.
Warning to our American listeners, you may not understand a word of this, but here it is.
Steinwender again has it for Hearts. Out again to Carriota. Ball clipped in. It's a chance here. Unbelievable. Hearts have scored in the dying minutes. The ball was angled to the back post. Craig Halkett it was that had gone forward. Drives it low into the net beyond Raphael Salinger.
I just love that accent. I just love it.
Oh, fantastic. Well, the best part about that was the game. Obviously, we was able to watch it. But, I'd never been part of this before, so we were right behind the goal. So in front of us with the ultras, they were just jumping up and down the whole time. Great atmosphere. But what was cool was they, sometimes when you see at professional games, you'll see a big, huge screen of some type, like a picture of the team or players or whatever it was. Yeah. So we were underneath that. That was the coolest part. So we were pulling it down as it kind of rolled down so you could see it. So there was a picture of their Hearts logo as well as all the different colors. So that was pretty neat. Never been part of that before, so that was kind of different. And then we was able to we went to Ibrox, watched the Rangers women's playing an FA Cup game, pretty comfortable victory for them. And then got to go to Parkhead, Celtic Park, and watch Celtic versus Motherwell. Another great game. Celtic ended up winning 3-2, last-minute winner. What was interesting about that game was that Motherwell were up 2-1 and playing very well. I was really impressed with how they played. I think if you get a chance to watch a little bit of Motherwell, they definitely play very close to like Brighton does, playing out of the back and moving the ball, but they have some really dynamic players. But I think the poise and the strength of Celtic came through and ended up winning 3-2. So truly a memorable trip. Again, thanks to World Strides, thanks to all the people that were part of that, Eric and Morgan and Woody and Johnny and all of the people that were part of that process. So we appreciate everything they do for us, and we're looking forward to sending some teams over next year.
All right. And Edinburgh is one of the greatest cities in the world to visit. This is what I've been told.
It really is. It really is. It's very easy to get around. We did spend some time doing a little bit of sightseeing, got to see the castle and the palace, and able to frequent a couple of their establishments, which was great. So you got a full part of the culture, so it was good.
Time now to guess the Premier League star.
Okay, I know you're jet lagged, so I'm going to make this one a little bit easier than normal.
Oh, thank you so much.
So I think you've heard of him, but I'm not 100% sure. He's 25 years old, right? So he's been around.
Okay.
These days, 25 years old, that's like a grizzled veteran, isn't it?
It is, yeah. He's old. He's an old geezer.
Yep. He was born in Leeds, but he never played with that club.
Okay.
His current club is his only Premier League team he's ever been on. But he did play in other countries, including Germany. That's where he played before he came to England. Now, I mentioned he's born in Leeds, and he's a star of his national team. But that team is not England.
Interesting.
He's a striker.
Okay.
He's a scoring machine.
Scoring machine. Okay.
Yeah.
Has he scored many goals this year?
Yes, he scored a few this year, yes.
All right.
He does not play in London.
Okay.
And he does not play in Liverpool. And he does not play in the far north of England.
All right. So would you say he's playing on the coast?
No, he also does not play on the coast. He plays,
so probably central part of.
He plays in an industrial city in England that has two teams.
Oh, industrial city with two teams.
Yes, famous for its music.
Okay, so I'm guessing this would be in Manchester?
It would be.
All right, and he's playing for... Would you say he's playing for Manchester City?
I would.
Oh, he scored a few goals. He's 25 years old. And...
He has a man bun.
He's got a man bun. Playing for Manchester City. And he plays for Manchester City.
I wouldn't call it a man bun, but I mean he's got a very weird haircut.
Okay, so weird. Yeah, that's interesting.
He wears number 9.
Okay, so yeah, so
he's blonde.
Okay, yeah, I've got it. Makes sense. This was
his
definitely
first name is Erling.
Yes, absolutely, Erling Haaland. Well, when you said he has a man bun, I was just thinking, I don't always think about him having that man bun because he's got kind of like a strange haircut.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It kind of just feels like it's pulled all the way back. When I think of a man bun, I think of like a Jack Grealish.
Yeah. I mean, he does sometimes wear it like in a bun, like a 1960s housewife.
Right, there you go.
But,
I'm just thinking of people who've just joined the podcast. They've just fast forward and they're saying, "What the heck are they talking about? Man buns." I'm just waiting for you.
That's what you get when you listen to this show. The other thing you get is this.
Now time for Adam's Weekend Soccer TV Tip.
Okay. Now, I mentioned international break, so that's a bummer.
Yeah, so we're finishing that up this week. So the games are still going on, but we're going to have, we'll have games that are going to be starting next week. So I wanted to preview next week's because I think it's important, but then also talk about some international. So previewing next week, think about some of the teams that are playing. And I'm not going to say which games, but you've got Liverpool, you've got Man United, you've got Nottingham Forest, you've certainly got Manchester City. So think about some of those teams that are playing here, but I think it's going to be important. But, obviously from a scores and a fixtures we got this weekend, it's always challenging because of when the games are playing. When you look at some of the key ones that are coming through, it's really difficult to find good ones.
Yeah.
Because especially like Spain's playing Georgia, Bulgaria and Turkey, all of those types of games are going on, and they really start on Friday through. But I know this game's today, so people are probably not going to see it, but a kind of a neat game would be England versus Wales that's going on today. That's going to be kicking off a little bit later this afternoon. We're recording this on the Thursday, so that's going to be a good one. But I think we have to really kind of put into perspective all of those friendly games. So we've talked about the US playing the 2 games this week, so that's going to be a big one. Plus, if people get an opportunity and are able to watch it, and I think you can find this on on Paramount, get a chance to watch the Women's Super League. That's the English, basically, Women's Premier League. Chelsea plays Tottenham. Chelsea's very good. They've got 5 championships in a row on the women's side. So if you get a chance, watch that one. Plus, another little game on Saturday, Liverpool versus Manchester. I'm sorry, this is on Sunday. Liverpool versus Man City could be a game to watch. So go for it. Try and watch those games as best as you can.
Okay, that sounds good. So are we going to do another show next week?
I think so. Yeah, I think we can.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, good. Free Kicks is brought to you by Green White Soccer. Go to greenwhitesoccer.org and find out about all the various different teams. Find out about our upcoming Hall of Famer, Kurt Melcher. Find out about our 70th anniversary, which is coming up. It's greenwhitesoccer.org. All right, we have people to thank. We need to thank our executive producer, Tony Lasano with Opie Shows. Also, thank you to Ed Silla with the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Thanks also to Holland for hosting Adam. Oh, no, wait. That's Scotland. I don't know where the hell I got.
I know. I thought you meant Erling Haaland there for a second. What the heck's he talking about?
I thought
I'm the one jet lagged.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I'm just brain damaged.
It's all that Scotch whiskey I gave you when I brought it back. You've been sipping it before you did the podcast.
I'm sipping it right now. But we will be back again next week with a brand new episode of Free Kicks.
The proceeding was a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. Find our other great shows on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at RadioMisfits.com. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of Opie Productions.
Tony, can you shut up?